Everyone, sorry, so sorry I'm late, but I'm here. I lost my cable and I've had to rig a different system. Plus, I decided to go for a random run, like a 5 kilometer run, just before this, which didn't help. But I'm here and I think we're live, and I'm just going to check that everything is up and running. As you could see, things are a little bit different. I'll explain why, because today I'm going to be planning. Um, my Japan trip or start getting ideas. And I thought that it would be a very good exercise because I know that many of you in this channel, oh, look at my hair, bloody hell. Many of you in this channel are planning or getting ready for Japan. And what better way of learning, how to plan or how to put a trip together than, seeing how I do it. So hopefully it will be useful. Maybe it's a little bit of a scatterbrain sort of like process, but hopefully it will be worth it. Thank you everyone for your patience, and I do apologize that I'm a little bit late. Let me just make sure that I have the chat running, everything is working, and all of that. I also needed to figure out how to connect my iPad to your to the to the um to the screen. Anyway, it's been a thing. It's been a little bit of a thing, is what I'm gonna say. All right. Let me just get the chat running and I'll be with you guys in a second. Are we working? First of all, thank you so much to. Is it working? What's going on? Nope. Let's see. Right, for some reason I can't put the chat. Mm, Let me try a different way. Let's see if this works now. There we go. Triple treat today. Let me just make sure you're just monkeying around with the with my emotions. All right. Just need to make this a little bit longer. There we go. I got the chat working. I was just going to say a big thank you to where are we? Lord McGray, thank you so much for the gift memberships, and obviously thank you so much to Jim also for the gift memberships. I don't know why I can't see the whole thing. I'm seriously not doing well today, am I? I'm like doing super bad with streaming. Okay, that's a little bit better. All right. So for those of you joining me right now, I do apologize. I think I finally got my act together, but this is basically the start of how I plan my trip. First of all, I do have Google Maps on my iPad. I think Google Maps is one of my key planning sort of the things that I use for planning the most. It, especially, I can actually show you. So zooming in to Google Maps, does it help me? Does it work? Hmm? Doesn't seem to be running. Oop. Oh my goodness, this stream is gonna be a nightmare stream. I can already tell. Let's see. Now, there we go. Okay, so I use Google Maps quite a lot for my streaming, for my planning, pinning and getting an idea of routes, and we're gonna do all of this together. And then I have here also, I also have with me, and I'm gonna show you exactly what my very, very first step is. It's a very important step. Oh, why is everything freezing today? Okay, I don't know why things are freezing, but I do have this lovely notebook that was actually gifted by Jim Ross, by the way. Thank you so much. And the very, very first step, and I will be checking on the chat in a minute, and I'm sure that Alan would have messaged me by now had you not been able to hear anything that I'm actually saying. Let me just check. Sure that Alan would have. Yeah, you can hear me. You can hear me. We'll check everything now. So the very first thing that I suggest that you do when you're planning your trip to Japan, step one is actually make a list of how many days you have. And I believe that my trip for summer, which is the one that I'm starting to plan now, is actually approximately 44 days, something like that. So what I would do here is I would just jot down my days like this: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just writing, if you can see there, just writing the day numbers: 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I'll do 30 for now. We probably won't do 30. We'll probably do the first like 10 or 12 days. But I've written down the roughly the 30 days. The next step, what I usually do is I try to check what those days are in the calendar, and I've got my iPhone here with my calendar. Where's my calendar here? And I know that the first day that I arrive will be in July. I don't necessarily, you can also do it by days. I just don't want to give too much away, of exactly where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing. So I've just done it by day, but you can do it by date on the calendar. You can do like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16th. But what I usually do is I figure out that the first day that I'm there is a Monday. So I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Right. So the next step is I've actually highlighted the weekends. Now, this is a step that you should definitely do when you're planning a trip to Japan, so that you know when what when the weekends are going to fall, because there are going to be some key things that you might want to actually do, and you don't want to do them during the weekend. Definitely. So it depends on the activity. Knowing when the weekend falls on your trip might, there are times that you won't be able to escape the weekend, but knowing that it's a weekend, it may be as easy as deciding to change a certain thing, from the weekend to the day before, as an example. So now the next thing, let me just check your messages, actually see how everyone is doing before we continue. Let me just switch to over here. Maybe you can see the thing, and you can see me a little bit better. Maybe I can make myself a little bit bigger. Yeah, hello everyone. So we've got loads of people here. We're here. Did Nathan forget to bestow a little love onto his camera? Basically, I lost my cable, and yeah. Hey Gazumi, hey Lord McRae, believe in yourself, how you doing? I know loads of you are here. Jamie-san, hello everyone. Sorry to make you all wait. Blue Owl, hey, he said he would be a bit late, and I was. I apologize. Pizza, how you doing? Japan, Japan, Ichiban, always to the rescue, calling me. You haven't forgotten, have you? Yo, back in the clay is also here. And loads of people. Jim Ross, obviously. And Thatch. Chitp. Hello, everyone. Time to get a cup of tea and watch along. Yay! We are live indeed. Just trying to catch up with anything. Will you use your Irish passport next time you visit Japan, or will you use a British Gibraltar passport? I'll be using the Irish passport because it will be much easier. I am traveling via Zurich, which means that using my European passport, I can get through the queues, like the passport control queues during my layover much faster. So, Dabbling Monkey. Please smash the like button. Please do. Please do. Let's see. Did my planning today and booked all 7 hotels for the summer as there's a flash 18% cashback sale. Really? Where? Where's that? Where's the 18% cashback sale, by the way? Laurie is also here. Common commenter. Hello, how are you doing, by the way? Having Google Maps is also really helpful. It helps you mark out the places you might like to visit. Definitely. That's exactly what I do. Jose Cano, long time. Greetings from La Nina next door. How are you? We need to meet up again, my friend. We have to meet up again. Pierce Prague, pins in Google Maps is my usual way to go. 0 hotels in Akita or Aomori for the Matsuris, though. I can give you some tips there. And for Akita Aomori, I was unable to stay in Akita or Aomori. I had to stay in alternative places. 25 days north this summer. 7 hotels have been booked. You all are doing so much better than me, I have to say. You're all doing very well. I do my planning on the computer with multiple windows open to jump around and modify things. Notes onto OneNote Calendly with the plan details. Lord McGray, I actually do something very similar. Usually I start on paper and then I move on to the computer to finalize things. I won't be looking at hotels today. I'm just looking at my itinerary, and the itinerary does usually change or can change if there's no hotel availability. I might have to adjust, basically. Slick with the kicks, doing well. Since you now have visa-free access to China with both UK and Irish passports, thoughts on China trip? Actually, Danny, this is one of the things that I'm hoping to potentially add to my summer. 1 week in China from Japan. But it all depends on my budget, to be honest. Public holidays are also the ones to watch out for. Yes, that is true, but that you'd need to do it via calendar. I agree with you. Go wander down under. Planning in advance, now there's a concept I should examine. Okay, let's see. I'm an on-paper planner and a Google Map planner, similar to me, I guess. I mean, this is just the most basic planning, like the start of my planning. So, right, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my thoughts on where I think I'm going to go this summer, my thoughts. So we got Japan here, and my what I've sort of like put my mind to one thing. That is, I want to go to these islands here, which is Okinoshima, Dogojima Islands here, which are just above Matsue, Izumo, Totori, the sort of general area. And these islands look very interesting, and I need to start booking rather quickly. I think by this week I have to start getting my itinerary up, at least up to those islands booked. And so that is sort of like my goal. Now, obviously, because I've done all the prefectures of Japan, I'd like to potentially also return to Sado Island. So it might be a little bit of an island sort of like trip, exploring some larger islands. And also, this area here is called Chugoku area, which is basically the area of Totori, Matsue, Shimane, Hagi, all that area there. It's called the Chugoku area region. And I did that, I think, back in 2017 or 2018. I really enjoyed it, and I thought that it would be a great way, a great place to explore. So this is what I'm thinking at the moment. My thoughts are, I would start in Tokyo, and I'd probably spend the first 5 days in Tokyo. So what I will do is I will now block out the first 5 days um for Tokyo. So I'll just put here Tokyo, 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 Tokyo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I've just noticed that that it's not zooming very well, is it? wakey, wakey. But you get the idea, right? Tokyo, Tokyo. Come on, zoom, you stupid camera. But I put Tokyo, 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 and that's going to be a block. It's going to be very easy. It means that that will be my first hotel. I've noticed that that I do fall just before a weekend, so I need to consider whether or not I want to travel and where I want to travel to if it's a weekend. So what I might actually do is I might actually stay one. I do have 44 days to play around with. So what I might do is I might potentially stay one extra day in Tokyo, just looking at this, and then the next location would be on a Sunday, if that makes any sense. So looking at the map again, I will most likely travel from Tokyo to Niigata, and that would probably be my very first stop, spending a little bit more time in Niigata area. I only spent one night in Niigata last time, really just as a sort of like pass through to on the way to Sado Island. So I would probably base myself in Niigata. Now I need to decide whether I want to do Niigata first, do Sado, and then return to Niigata and spend a little bit more time in Niigata, or whether I want to do it the other way around. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oop. Return to Sado Island, taiko drums across the water. Chugoku area sounds good. That's my planned destination in November. Yay. I'm leaving for my fourth trip to Japan in 2 weeks, thinking about going to China for the first time in 2027. Sounds really cool. Nathan, if you're going to Japan in October next year, should we be looking to booking air tickets now? You could, of course you can. I just have to do it by budget. And at the moment, I've got a big trip coming up in summer and also in April. So I was surprised it was a shot in the dark after seeing the expensive luggage holding services. Ooh, let's see. You can usually book flights 12 months in advance, not earlier. That is true, Lord McGray. I don't normally recommend that you book your flights 12 months in advance, unless you want to use your points. If you want to use points, airline miles, then it's usually best that you do it as soon as you can. It's better to have more weekend days versus weekdays. It's better to try to avoid certain things in the weekend. I think a Sunday, like leaving Tokyo, potentially would be okay. I'm staying in Naki- Nakita town for a couple of nights when I arrive to mix it up a bit. The temple looks cool. I'm in Niigata after that. Ooh, awesome. Narita. Okay, I was like, what? I was like pretending I knew what you're talking about, but obviously, no. I think I will do Tokyo, Sado, Niigata. So city, island, city. Yeah. So that was sort of like what I was thinking also, Alan. I was thinking that from Tokyo, if I do Tokyo and then I do um maybe a chill. I don't think I would want to do Tokyo to Sado Island. Now, this is where the next thing comes in. So this is where I start sort of like really considering my options. So I'm going to write here Tokyo Station. I'm just going to put Tokyo Station, even though I am not probably going to be staying in Tokyo Station. And I'm going to put Sado Island, and I'm going to just switch it around to Sado Island. Now, I know that I'm trying to get some public transport. No public transport. So what I need to do then is figure out from Tokyo Station to Niigata Station. And what I'm gonna do is it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. It's gonna be about 2 hours. I'm looking through here. If I want to be a little bit more specific, I'm looking here. I'm looking at potentially traveling on a Sunday, so I can leave on a Sunday. Just put any day, any Sunday. I've just put the next Sunday, and I'm going to put more or less the time that I would probably want to leave. I probably want to leave Tokyo if I can before 8 a.m. So I'm just going to put it 8:30, 7:30. So now that's given me a better idea, and a very clear idea here is that I could potentially get to Tokyo in 1.5 hours. If I leave at 9:12, this one here, as you can see, and that gives me a good idea. So I could potentially go to Tokyo and go to Niigata and go straight to Sado Island. That is a possibility. Now, what I would have to do is I would have to I'm gonna check on my phone though, because I don't want to close the Google Maps. Sado Island. Let's see. Last time I used Google Maps, I was able to get Sado Island, Niigata Station to, let's see, Sado Island. And this route includes a ferry. So we have here, oops. It's not showing me the routes on Google Maps. So I'm just gonna search here, Sado Island schedule, ferry. Sado Keysense timetable, just to get an idea of how often they run. And also for Sado Island, I learned that I do need to book in advance. Let's see. Niigata to Ryotsu, which is there we go. So I can show you here on the, let me just turn this way. I can show you the schedule roughly. I mean, there might be a summer schedule. 12:35 would get me at 3:05. Niigata, look, there's other schedules. 9:25, 12:35 sounds like the most promising. So around 12:30. So I'm just going to make a note here on my notes, because this is a very, very rough itinerary. And I'm going to put here Sado, and I'm going to write Sado, and I'm going to write 2 hours Shinkansen, ferry 12:30. That's my option. Okay, so I think I'm very much thinking that that's a very good way of doing it. Like Alan said, Japan Ichiban. Make my way to Sado a little bit earlier, probably have an early lunch. Sorry, Niigata a little bit earlier, probably have an early lunch, and I would arrive in Sado by around 3 p.m., which would be the perfect time to check in. Now the question is, how long would I stay in Sado? And I think that there's another thing that I'm going to put here. I'm going to put Sado. I'm going to put 2 nights in Sado, and I'm going to put in big asterisks. I'm going to put rent a car. Rent car. So I'm thinking that probably, because I have been to Sado before, I will probably want to rent a car for a full day and then drop off the car, and probably I would leave and go back to Niigata, but in the later ferry. So it would be a total of 2 nights in Sado. 2 nights in Sado. So I would arrive at 3 p.m. and I would have the obviously I would have the evening to sort of like get my bearings and all that kind of thing, check in. Then I would have the full day with my car, checking out parts of the island with my car. Probably start as early as I can. I'll look into the car rental a little bit later. Maybe not today. And then the following day, I would probably still have my car for maybe half of the day, where I would drop it off, and I would then leave for Niigata. Now, guys, what do you think? How many days? I think Niigata, I'm gonna put 3 nights, because I want to explore around the area. And I think that 3 nights in Niigata will be a good, a good compromise. I can do a little bit of the city mostly in the evenings or maybe in the early mornings, and I can explore. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. Yep, I can Shinkansen to Niigata. That's what I'm saying. My only issue with starting at Tokyo, best from UK, in my opinion, is that I'm so tired of Tokyo by now that I've done most of the day trips. Yeah, Melissa, the thing is that I have lots of friends in Tokyo, so when it comes for me, going to Tokyo, a lot of it isn't just because I think it's a wonderful wonderful city, but I do hang out with people, so it's nice. When I say excellent training program, think hellish rocky type training. Luckily, I'm not yet the point of being tired of Tokyo. I'm not tired of Tokyo either. You should check out some of my lesser visited Tokyo itineraries. They're pretty cool, I think. I'm paying for Tokyo to Niigata. Then after that, getting the 10-day pass starting on my departure from Niigata. Oh, that's another thing. I will look at potential JR passes and passes later on, once I have locked in my itinerary, and that might actually make me tweak things slightly. Niigata, hard off capital. I love those regional passes as I end up taking all sorts of random trips. So yeah, I know that the new no, JR East Pass might be a good fit for that trip. But again, as I'm going to Sado, I'd have to be a little bit strategic, and I might have to actually start it in Niigata after. Oh man, I love Japan trip planning, which I virtually do every day. 6 months planning plus 6 months planning. 2 to 3 days Niigata, not sure how much there is to do there. It's a vicious cycle. A lot of us are chronically planning. Yes, I booked 3 nights in Niigata for the summer too. Ooh, we're all thinking the same. What's special in Niigata? I think that Niigata, personally, I just want to explore around Niigata. I when I went to Niigata, I found Niigata to actually be one of the least friendliest cities I've ever been to in Japan. It was a very strange experience, to be honest. I felt like I was unwanted. It was various restaurants, and they kept on sort of like saying, like they didn't necessarily say no foreigners, but it kind of felt a little bit like that. So I didn't really see the city as such, so I'd probably want to spend a day exploring the city. The second thing I'd want to do is just have a look at what there is, like in terms of day trips from Niigata. So I think that three nights is probably fine. 1, 2, 3, and then all the little tiny sort of like details I would add later on. I just want to sort of get a rough idea. Is Niigata a good day trip from Tokyo? I think that's what you were trying to say, right? Oh yeah, there's Osaka also. Yeah, yeah. All right. So back to the map, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this format. I just thought that now that I've sort of got into the swing of things, hopefully it's running a little bit smoother, and you get a little bit of an idea of how I sort of plan. So from Niigata, my thinking obviously is that I actually try to make my way to oops, to these islands here via the coastline. So I'm thinking that perhaps what I can do is I can travel from Niigata um to maybe, I don't know. Well, I thought of going to Nagano from Niigata, because that would be like the most logical way of doing it, and then from Nagano heading to Kanazawa or somewhere in between. So I might actually check here. So I'm going to do Niigata station, and I'm just going to see if I wanted to go from Niigata. I'm going to put directions. Let's say I want to go to Kanazawa. I'm just getting some ideas here. Kanazawa station. How is it going to route me? Is what I'm wondering. So it's routing me via, let's see, Takasaki station is one option, or is that the only way that I can do it? Trying to get the quickest option. I mean, the Takasaki option seems to be the best one. What's this one? The same. So you know what? Maybe Takasaki it is. I thought I would be able to go from Niigata to Nagano. What happened? Let's see if we put from Niigata to Nagano. Let's see how it routes us. Oh, it does the same thing. So now I have to think of Takasaki. I don't think I've stayed in Takasaki before. Does anybody know anything about Takasaki? Personally, let me just switch back to this one and see. This is a fan format. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Fukui is definitely on my list. It's on my list. I've been to Fukui. I spent a few days in Fukui. But when I was in Fukui, I had a stomach bug, so I only did the dinosaur museum. So there's a lot more that I want to do there, you know? What was option two? I missed an option. Okay. From Niigata to Kanazawa. Also, I'm gonna change the. Let me just put it back. I'm also gonna change the leave at, because it's at the moment it's at very late in the day, and it's gonna affect my option. So I'm gonna pretend that, and that would be now a Friday. So I'm gonna pretend that it's a Friday. I'm just gonna put any Friday just to get a rough idea, and I'm gonna pretend that I want to leave like at 8 a.m. So just before 8 a.m. And that's gonna give me far more accurate options. Just remember that. So the bus 5 hours, not really what I'm looking for. 3 hours and 9 minutes is the one that it's asking. Oh, look at that! Now that looks interesting. Now that is more like what I'm talking about. That's what I want to do really. I want to do a little bit of a coastal. That looks so cool, guys. That is definitely. So where's it going? Nagaoka station, and maybe I can stop somewhere interesting. Let's see. Maybe I can go to Toyama. Toyama? Kanazawa's there. Where do you guys suggest? I mean, halfway through, really, to be honest. I mean, I could just do that if I wanted to get all the way straight to Kanazawa. But perhaps it would be nice to try somewhere different. So I'm just gonna put some notes on my notepad here, and I'm gonna use another page. Okay, so I'm not using the same. I'm not using the lists, but I'm just gonna note here from Niigata to Kanazawa. My handwriting is terrible. For those of you who get postcards from me, I apologize in advance. But from Niigata to Kanazawa, the options that I personally like, and I like the idea of going via the coastline, is perhaps stopping in what's that? Joetsu Miyoko. So I can stop at Joetsu Miyoko. Now this will be something that I will do, in my own spare time, like research, or maybe you guys can research for me what there is to do there, if it's worth staying a night. I think that sometimes for these little like tinier, lesser known places, one night is probably enough, just enough to break up the trip, to make it a little bit more interesting. Or maybe Ito Itoigawa or Itoigawa. before getting to Kanazawa. I mean, or Toyama. These are all options before getting to Kanazawa. So that is roughly what's going on here. Let's see. Do you use any apps when traveling apart from Google or the most commonly known apps? For example, I have FX Converter, usually that I take out quickly. I have a video, actually the video that I put out last week on like what you need, planning, like entry requirements. I mentioned some apps there. Generally, I would say I just have the general Google Maps, Translate, Line, the Yurikuro call, that kind of thing. I follow a Mexican YouTuber who lived in Niigata for 20 years and she did not like it too much. She moved to Kobe. Ooh, interesting. Wow. I am jealous. I had to cut Niigata and Nagano out of my north trip for time constraints. I mean, that's at the moment I've got a lot of time, but my idea really actually is that my idea is that I have, 2 weeks away, and then I sort of circle back to Tokyo probably, or to Osaka or something like that, so I can have a little bit of human interaction with some of my friends, if that makes any sense. Let's see. Takasaki, Takasaki Museum of Art, Funky Hakuri Tabai Hanbi Izakaya. Ooh, so did I put Takasaki? I did Nagano as a day trip from Tokyo. Nagano's pretty cool. I love Nagano. I've stayed in Nagano a few times. I've even stayed with the monks in Nagano. What apps am I using for this planning? At the moment, I'm literally just using Google Maps. Google Maps, just to get an idea. I think it's important to get an idea of how long trains take. Some friends of mine, or friends of friends, that got in contact with me to help them plan their trip, they send me their itinerary and I send it back to them saying, that some of these places that you want to go to are like 7 hours on train. The whole concept of distances for some people, so this is the best way to do it. Use Google Maps, put in your entry and your destination, and just have a look at roughly how long it's going to take to get there. And then if it's too long, then break it up, which is basically what I'm doing here. Research is so fun in a group. I wish my partner did this with me, but she work when I plan. The village of statues right outside of Toyama is so cool. Ooh, we stayed. I mean, the other option is I could go from, I mean, Toyama. I've got Toyama here. I'm going to put here village of statues. Village of statues. There's Kurobe for the gorge along all the way. That's near Niigata, right? That's near Toyama or Fukui. You could be pretty cool. I have a Itoigawa on the radar for next trip. Looks like it has some really nice gardens. Ooh. Takasaki also has the Daruma temple nearby, which is pretty interesting. Awesome. I suggested an itinerary that skipped Kanazawa above. Where? Um, hold on. Japan, do Nagata to Joetsu, then Joetsu to Fukui. Let's see. Niigata to Joetsu. Let's see. Niigata to Joetsu. And then that's what you're saying, no? And then Joetsu to Fukui. So I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna switch Joetsu to Fukui. Again, I need to change the time because at the moment, okay, 8 1 hour. That works pretty well actually. That works pretty nicely. Where I can basically do Niigata to Joetsu, Joetsu to Fukui. And then, so I'm just going to start writing in my little book here. I've got Niigata, Niigata, Niigata. I'm going to put Joetsu with a question mark. And Joetsu as a question mark. That can be changed. And then Fukui. 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 And I'm going to do 2 nights in Fukui. Or 3 nights in Fukui. Something like that. And then my thoughts. Let me just get back to the chat. So my comment regarding Onitsuka factory in Toyama. No, I did not see your comment. So I apologize. Where is it? Onitsuka opened a new factory and shop in Toyama. If you're going there, you should check it out. It's the birthplace of Onitsuka's founder. Nice. Well, I'll add it to as a potential Toyama Onitsuka Tiger. Okay, as a potential thing. Kurube Gorge will be opening soon, very soon. Snow Walls. You preferred Toyama over Kanazawa? I've been to Toyama again. Toyama and Fukui, both of them, I was quite sick. So I sort of like, yeah. That's pretty cool. The city of Village of Statues looks very interesting. Yeah, they I think that potentially those are good options. Thank you, Don McGray. Please do so. I might open a little like a little thingy like for my trip. Right, let's carry on. So, continuing my thoughts here would be from Fukui, I would want to travel probably to Kyoto, the north. So I'm thinking continuing from Fukui to get to Aizu Wakamatsu, so not Aizu Wakamatsu, to Ine, or that this sort of general area. Amano Hashidate, that's what I was talking. So let's put Fukui Station to Aizu Wakamatsu to not Aizu Wakamatsu, was it? What's the name of that place? Amano Hashidate. Amano Hashidate Station. Let's see if it has. Oh my god! It's a 5-hour trip. 3 hours if I take a crazy detour. Crazy detour to Kyoto. I mean, if I want to add a little Kyoto side quest, but if I can do it without the Kyoto side quest, I probably prefer to do it without the Kyoto side quest. So let's see. This is where things become interesting because this is where potentially I can see that's going that way, the same way. There we go. So this is interesting because this is where now I can decide if to stop, for example, from Fukui, I could stop in Tsuruga station or Obama. I think Obama sounds like an interesting place. So I'm just going to put here again in this little paper here, this booklet. Just going to put Fukui to, I could potentially stop in Tsuruga or Obama before getting to Amano Hashidate. So I'll decide. Any thoughts on that, you guys? Ine is fine back in the clay. What the problem with Ine is that there is no problem. I went to Ine, and the bus tours come. The place gets incredibly packed, like ridiculously packed for like 20 minutes, and then they all disappear, literally. So if you're like they get saturated with bus tours. That's the main issue. The main issue. I mean, I went what 2 years ago. But that's what it was like 2 years ago, and I'm expecting it that it's going to be exactly the same. 1.5 extra hours isn't bad if there's some neat places in and sites in between. Suruga Station is the end of the Hokuriku Shinkansen, and the Thunderbird also stops there. Easy to get to Kyoto or Osaka. Tsuruga, let's see. So we were saying Tsuruga Station. I mean, if I did the Fukui to Tsuruga, it's only 20 minutes on the Shinkansen. So I'm just gonna make a little note here. I'm just gonna make a little note. Tsuruga Shinkansen in brackets. So yeah, that might be an interesting little stop. I mean, another way to do things is where you plan it so that you start your day, you luggage forward. I would go to Tsuruga, for example, 20 minutes on the Shinkansen from Fukui, and spend, most of the day there, and then have lunch or whatever, and then later in the afternoon get the train to Obama. So let's see how long it would take to get from Suruga to Obama. So Suruga Station to Obama Station. 1 hour, which isn't too bad. Maybe I can explore Amano Hashirate. How long was it from Suruga to Amano Hashirate? 3 hours, 10 minutes. That's not too bad. 3 hours, 10 minutes, 16 in the morning. That's okay. If I press on this, it'll give me some ideas. Higashi Maizuru Station, Nishi Maizuru Station. Or maybe potentially I could stop anywhere along there. So I've got it all the way to here. I'm just getting an idea of getting, slowly moving towards those islands here. Slowly moving towards these islands here. I would probably want to stop in Totori again. I would probably then want to stop in Matsue, and I would probably want to then from Matsue head to these islands. That's my rough idea. I'm going to get back to the chat, see what you guys have to say. This has been a little bit of a different live stream so far. Oh, by the way, I do have a Coke Zero. I have not forgotten. Let's see. And my my thing is running out of battery. Hold on. I need to plug it in. Oh my goodness, I am so not not organized today. Hold on, guys. There we go. Whew. Ina has been on the Japanese news as the new poster child over tourism. Oh, forget the Japanese news, dudes. Like over tourism is the buzzword. Everything is over tourism in Japan. It's all bullcrap. There is no over tourism in Japan. Just go to freaking London, go to Barcelona, and you'll learn what real over tourism is. Some places are crowded, yeah. Just walk a little bit further on and it's not that crowded. Tokugawa-san, Yonogo Matsue area. Okay, no problem. Complimentary bikes. That's good to know. Easy. You can always do that. It's very feasible. Yeah, I mean, I love Kyoto, so I think Curry Cold has a point. If I see that I need to sort of like speed up my trip to Totori, for example, I will stop in Kyoto. I'll be very happy to stop in Kyoto. It was just looking at how much more interesting it would be to go via the coastline, like an alternative route. The thing is that I want to spend a little bit longer in Fukui because like I want to go to that temple that you went um to start with. And that feels to me that it's gonna be like a day in its in its own right. Apart from that, there's a few other sites that I never got to do that I wanted to do when I was in Fukui last time. No, Obama is on the coastline of just above Kyoto. The port, it's Matsue. Yeah, I've been to Matsue. I like Matsue. Hold on. It might be Daisen or Izumo. I think you can get the thing from Izumo also, if I remember right. I don't think Okinoshima. If I put Okinoshima, what the hell? Okay, let's put it from Matsue. That's a bit crazy. Matsue Station. There we go. So it is basically Matsue, but it's Shi Chiruiko. From there is where you get the ferry that goes to Saigu. Interesting. And that would take how long? It's a bus, 40 minutes. So it's a little bit far off. But I was pretty sure you could get it from somewhere else. Interesting. Anyway, interesting. Coke Zero San. Believe in yourself. Kampai, everyone. This Suraga Amanoshidata area will likely see me return for a slow go car rental trip sometime. Feels like it will be Tokyo, Sado, Niigata, Joetsu, Fukui, Obama, then Amanoshidate, Matsue. Yeah, something like that. Something like that, maybe. I mean, I'll look at potentially doing like Fukui, potentially if I needed to shorten it, I would probably shorten it by going Fukui, Kyoto, straight to Totori. Actually, Totori probably before Matsue. Lord McGray will be in London next week. What are you doing in London? So far, I went twice. Once was along the Hokuriku line, Tokyo, Toyama, Kyoto. Second time was Tokyo, Aomori, Akita. Nice. Those are really good itineraries. Yeah, this is what I want. I wanna. This is why I like the Chugoku region. Last time I went, there was no one, no tourists. Free tourists in Katsuyama. The touring your party. Good one there. For summer Hanabi, don't forget Niigata for the free biggest shots of Hanabi every year. Although be aware that only after the first big shell, you must start walking to the station if you need to return to Tokyo. Bloody hell, that's quite an epic trip, but cool nonetheless. I'll make a note there. Thank you, Clay. I'll make a Niigata. Maybe I'll look at the Hanabi when it is. I'm not the biggest fan of Hanabi, but hey, thank you so much for the Irish green tea. Yuzu banana green tea Irishness. I hope Frog Lady's okay. She's not been here today. Yeah, it looks that's what I want to do. I want to go there. Saikai Minato near Matsue School. Ended up walking from there to Crazy Perspective Eshima Bridge. Oh, that's true. That's there also. Ooh. You see, this is the cool thing about doing planning together. Um, Matsue, Sue, Crazy Perspective Bridge. Question mark. Sakai Minato. Okay, I'll add Sakai Minato somewhere. Just make it look. Sakai. Minato. I'll research that a little bit more. Best way to travel around Kyushu, public transportation is fine. The JR Pass, Kyushu JR Pass is pretty good, to be honest. However, renting a car, it's gonna open up lots of things. Let's see. Short vacation weekend to visit the Gundam pop-up store. Go to Forbidden Planet and have British afternoon tea with catering. Cool. One little thing, Lord McGray, there's also a Pokemon, I think it's still up, the Pokemon, the National History Museum. There's a special Pokemon exhibition there. That's a great list, a great way to do it, Clay. Need to be off, no problem. Just planning. Unless you can get accommodation in Niigata, which is impossible, like Tokushima for the Awa Odori, no hotels, then it's a day trip. Yeah, I can see that. I think it's going to be that. So just going to do a little quick overview. You've seen my very very rough. I mean, what would happen next? I'm going to let you know what would happen next. What would not happen next is once I've locked in like my itinerary and I've just got to day 14 or 15. But once I've locked in my itinerary, what I would naturally do is, for example, let's see, Niigata. I would then, and I can't do it right now, but I would create pinned lists on Google for each area. And that would then help me plan each location's sort of like deeper dive like itinerary, if that makes any sense. So first of all, like you plan your itinerary from far away. What is your general sort of like route? How are you gonna get there? How are you gonna get basically the step one is how are you gonna get from A to B? That's basically step one, which is what I'm sort of doing right now. And step two is each location, each place, what is it to do? What is it to do? Obviously there's some of these places that you're gonna be going to, you already know what you're going for. But when you're going off the beaten path, like I sort of am, and I'm sort of like traveling, trying to travel via the coast a little bit of a different route. there's gonna be some places where there might be nothing. There might be very, very few things, and those days might be great laundry days, or they might be great relaxed days, or switch off sort of days too. Um, so yeah, always something, a way to do it, you know? I build a spreadsheet. I call it your planner to keep track of where and where, as well as budget. The summer exhibition in London Museum also. Wow, cool. Pokemon exhibit. Okay, need to check with Katrin. Is it Katrin or Katrin? I can't remember now. Sorry. But yeah, there's a proper Pokemon like exhibition in the Natural History Museum where they've put like bones as if they're dinosaurs, I believe. But I try not to plan everything every day, but only things that need reservations, advance tickets. Yeah, Joe Mitchell, what I do generally for example, for Niigata, I would research and I would put lots of pins down, but I wouldn't necessarily have to plan a specific day. I would have pins, you know, I would probably walk around and have a look at what's near. Plenty of house hard off. Where's Luke? Yeah, I need to contact Luke actually. Hola amigo, how are you doing? Samurai Indie. Gmap pin your spots, then search your interests in the location, example museums, onsens, traditional merchant stores, etc. Yes, that's what I do basically, but that's not what today's planning has been about. Today's planning has been basically, you know, what route, how to get there, what the plan is, and at the moment, let me do a quick review. It's going to be Tokyo to, can you do it like this? Tokyo Station to Niigata Station. Can I add stops? So that's going to be the first sort of leg of the trip. But I would then go to Sado Island, straight to Sado Island, spend 2 days, 2 nights in Sado. Then I would return to Niigata and I would spend a further 3 nights in Niigata, sort of exploring the general area there. And I'll do some research. If I see that there isn't enough, you know, to do, I will amend, obviously. Then from Niigata, the plan is to head to Joetsu, which is over here. From Joetsu, I would probably go into on the way to Fukui, maybe stopping in Obama. I said no, or did we say that? We said Suruga, and then from Suruga, basically moving down, slowly creeping towards these islands. So yeah, that is my very, very rough trip. That's going to be probably the first 3 weeks or so of my itinerary. It would probably be the halfway point. To be honest, I'd like to, after 2 weeks of traveling, I'd like to sort of head back to Tokyo for a further 3 or 4 days, just to chill with friends and you know, have a little bit of contact with people, and then I'll move on to the next leg of my trip. So that's very, very rough, sort of very, very rough, you know, how to plan or how I plan. I'd love to know your comments, by the way, if you're watching this in the replay. How do you plan? Has this been useful? I do know that there was a few hiccups at the beginning because I just couldn't find stuff. Unfortunately, the tickets of the Pokemon event are sold out. Damn it, Lord McGray. Had I known that you were going to London, I would have told you in advance because it looks like a pretty cool thing. Join the dots today, yeah. For anyone around going to Toyama and interested in figures, check out the Mega Recycle. Map says it's permanently closed, but it isn't. Okay, that's cool. Thanks everyone for helping me. Remember the first Pokemon event in Yokohama? I didn't know and was gone that day, but my friend told me everyone got in, even without playing. The Pokemon Go, no? I think. Toyama Glass Museum? Nice. I'll write it down also. Damn it, too many things to write down. So yeah, I'm awesome. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's basically been my stream for today. Just a little bit of planning. We'll see how the week goes. I will. I'm just giving you all a little bit of a heads up, just so that you don't get worried or anything. But next time you see me, I might be in a cast, or I might be in a sling, because they're doing some kind of a shoulder procedure on Tuesday, and I will probably be off work for a few days, as a result of what they're doing to my shoulder. Getting old, guys. I'm getting old, unfortunately. But yeah, they're doing some sort of procedure to my shoulder, and I don't quite know how many days I'm going to be off work, but I'm guessing I will be off work. Um, So the problem is that it's my right arm, and it means that I will most likely not be able to write, or I will probably won't be able to edit. um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, no problem. Believe in yourself. Great chat. Lots of good tips between everyone. Yeah, thanks everyone. You've given me lots of good ideas also. Yeah, back in the clay. When are you in Japan, by the way? When are you back in Japan? I ate that Tokyo banana so quickly. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all for your support, and I hope that you all have a great week ahead. Take care. Stay positive. Be happy, guys. And check out my last video. My last two videos. I've been busy. It's been a proper Ninja Monkey Nathan Sunday or Monday if you're watching from Australia, New Zealand. On Friday I put out a video, and today I've put out two videos and I've done a live stream. So check out Happy Gaijin if you want to see my travels in Dublin. That's my second channel, not necessarily related to Japan, but a little bit more experimental, a little bit more low key. And check out my last video on some more packing, like tips, all the things that we already know. But I've just tried to put it into a different type of package. See if I can reach a new audience doing it that way. YouTube and experimenting. But it would be really cool if you did check out those videos out too. Give them a like and leave a comment. It always helps. On that note, stay positive, and I'll see you all soon.